Throughout history, there's only been one way to stand up against tyranny, and it's through warfare. Freedom is always purchased and won on the battlefield. And the Declaration of Independence, the opening lines, which portray the events leading up to warfare, give us the reason. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. Thomas Jefferson and John Adams are known to be the two main writers of the Declaration of Independence. And Thomas Jefferson was heavily influenced by a philosopher by the name of John Locke, who was an English philosopher in the 17th century. He's considered a major influence on many of the founders. He believed in natural rights, considered to be the right to life, liberty, and to property, to government by consent. Government comes from the people. The right of revolution. People may overthrow tyrannical government, and equality under natural law. No one is born with the right to rule over another person, except in the normal, the legitimate function of law as governed by the people and allowed by the people to be governed, the consent of the governed. And Jackson drew from that when he wrote the Declaration of Independence, one of our founding documents, and ultimately led to the understanding of and the development of our Constitution as well. In our Constitution, we started off with very few articles compared to what we have currently, but ultimately it established the framework of our government as having three branches: the executive, the legislative, and the judiciary branches, each having power over the other branch. The executive having power over the legislative having power over the judiciary, and judiciary having power over executive, balancing that power. And the reason for that was there are two main principles of freedom which the founding fathers believed in: that tyranny is a result of authority with no freedom, and anarchy is a result of freedom with no authority. So there must be a balance of power. The power must be effective. The power must actually rule and actually be efficacious in its function towards people, to enforce the law, to have an effect on the citizens who are not breaking the law, and criminalize those who are. There must be an authority factor there. But there also must be a liberty of rights of people who want to live a certain way, who want to worship a certain way, eat certain foods, dress certain ways, and not be tyrannized into another way of living, and not be heavily influenced by the government, at least, to dress another way, or to worship some other god they don't want to worship. They must have the freedom to do so. At the time of the founding of our nation, there was an English writer named William Downer in the mid 1700s. He was not a major founder, but he did write many of his political tracts during that time, and his writing emphasized that government must be accountable to the people, that liberty requires virtue and self-government, that power tends toward corruption unless it's checked, excuse me. Citizens must understand their rights to preserve them, and tyranny grows when people become passive or ignorant. So he wrote about the responsibility involved with freedom. Freedom doesn't just mean you do everything you want to do and you get left alone, nor does it mean that your whole life is provided for you, that someone owes you your life, all of your assets that you gain are given to you by someone else. You have a right to have these things. It means that you have a right to go acquire those things. That's what freedom means. And that's what our founding fathers believed, and that's what this writer wrote about. And many of the people at that time also believed in these principles. So to those wishing to immigrate to the United States of America, there is a responsibility that is involved with freedom, and there is a freedom that you will not have in most other places. In most other places, a few will have most, if not all, the assets, have all the wealth, and the majority are left without any opportunity to become one of those few. Under a system that we have in this country called capitalism, you have the right, you have the freedom to go out and work and earn and be one of those wealthy few if you want to be, or not be, based on your own ability, your own desire, and you have your own destiny in your hands. That's what freedom is. If you want to come to this country, that's the opportunity that you have that you will not have in many other countries, in most other countries. Thank you for listening to my video.